One of the world's largest asset managers has thrown its name behind Bitcoin and now Ethereum. And therefore, it would be foolish of us to ignore the fact that these same people are talking about the tokenization of real-world assets and have been for a long time. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink has spoken at length how he believes that the tokenization of securities is the future. He thinks that in the future, trading pretty much anything is going to happen on the blockchain, simply due to the efficiency and the wider markets that blockchains can offer. Therefore, in this video, I want to take a look at a real-world asset project that has outperformed all other real-world asset projects. It's at the cornerstone of bringing traditional finance into the realm of blockchain, but is its native token still a good investment opportunity, especially as it has risen so quick and so fast over the last 6 months? It's time to take a look at Ondo Finance and the Ondo token. Before we dive into the project, as always, if you enjoy the video, please hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. If you don't want to miss out on any videos, then hit the bell notification too. And if you're stumbling around this market, not knowing really where to look for good fundamental analysis and also good consistent technical analysis, that is what I try and provide each and every week in my 80/20 crypto newsletter. I would love to have you as a subscriber. It's all about trying to navigate this market in as safe of a way as possible and trying to understand where the best optimum entries and exits could be. And with that, let's take a look at Ondo Finance. Now, Ondo Finance was developed with one purpose in mind. Like many other real-world asset projects, it first wanted to tokenize real-world assets and do it in an institutional grade way. So it basically wanted to become the bridge between traditional finance and blockchain tech. However, since then, the company, or the Ondo Foundation, I should say, has, in addition to the tokenization of assets, has developed its own investment arm that aims to create and manage tokenized funds as well. And as we can see on the home screen here, the Ondo Foundation's mission is to usher in a new era of financial inclusivity and market efficiency through on-chain, institutional-grade financial products and services. And it wants to do all of this in a regulatory compliant way. That's really important. Now, Ondo Finance's key products are broken down into two key tranches, which we can see on the screen here. We've got general access products and also qualified access products. The general access products can be accessed by anyone like me and you, whereas the qualified access products are only for qualified investment individuals, as far as I understand it. Now, within the general access products, we have the USDY token. And the USDY token is a tokenized note that is backed by US treasuries, and therefore, unlike a stablecoin, offers yield for its holders. Anyone can access this, but there is a very long redemption period. So if you want to get your money back out of USDY, the redemption period is between 40 and 50 days. Then on the other side, we've got these qualified access products, and that includes cash management. So that is the management of investment capital. There is also, within qualified access products, another token called the OUSG token. Now, the OUSG token, which we can see on the screen here, is again US treasuries, but unlike USDY, so we've got USDY, which offers you a yield and anyone can access it, unlike USDY, OUSG, which stands for Ondo Short-Term US Government Treasuries, they can be minted and redeemed at any time, so there's no restrictions, whereas the USDY, you can only redeem with a period of 40 to 50 days wait time. OUSG can be redeemed at any time. And then in addition to those two key tranches of products, there is also Flux Finance. And Flux Finance is a protocol that offers lending and borrowing services based on these tokens that Ondo Finance provides. And it is effectively a hard fork from the Compound protocol, which again is a lending and borrowing provider. So you can lend stablecoins on here to Flux, immediately start accumulating interest. You receive F-stables in return, and then you can use those F-stables from Flux in other DeFi applications. So it kind of amplifies your use of these tokens. And then we come to the Ondo token. So Ondo is the native token of Ondo Finance, and it is primarily used for the governance of the Ondo protocol. So all holders of Ondo are eligible to vote in the Ondo DAO, and it's the Ondo DAO that controls the development direction of the platform. Holders of Ondo are also given specific rights when interacting with Ondo's native protocol, Flux Finance. As we can see on screen here, the initial token supply is 10 billion, and there is no scheduled or planned inflation for this token. So the token total token supply shouldn't increase with time. And here we have Ondo on coin market cap. So at the moment we can see the price is hovering around $1.20. It has a market cap of 1.6 billion, so it is a medium cap coin. It's quite large. The fully diluted market cap is 12 billion, which tells us something about the circulating supply of coins, and it means that there is only a small circulating supply of coins at the moment. Out of the possible 10 billion, only 1.3 billion are in circulation. That means there are over 8.6 billion Ondo tokens left to enter the market. And that's a good segue into now the upsides and risks for the Ondo token. We know what the Ondo protocol does. We know how it operates, what it offers in terms of services, how the Ondo token fits into that. Now we need to look at how the Ondo token, what could be driving the demand for Ondo token in the future to therefore increase its price, or in the reverse, what are the risks that could bring the price of Ondo lower? Starting with the upsides, one of the first upsides that I want to talk about is the amount of high-profile backing that Ondo Finance has. The Ondo token is one of the most widely known protocols in the real-world asset niche, and it has outpaced all others in terms of adoption, which means that it already has a strong footing from which to move forward. And we can see some of the partners on the screen here. It's already integrated with the likes of BlackRock. It's got a partnership there, Ankura, Morgan Stanley, Mantle, Polygon, so a few Web3 protocols here, Injective, and also Coinbase. Next up, I wanted to highlight this Reuters article, which said that the treasury market alone, it used to be $12.5 trillion in 2014. It has now expanded to $27 trillion, and that was at the end of May this year. 27 trillion. And now Ondo is, of course, focused on treasuries at the moment. But the point that I want to make here is, as this is the first cycle where we've seen the introduction of real-world asset projects, it's the first time that they've truly existed, the upside to this narrative is completely unknown. It's just a big question mark. And Ondo Finance is right in the heart of that question mark. And finally, I want to draw your attention to the TVL that's locked within Ondo Finance. It's been consistently climbing, but it really exploded since March of this year and has taken off. We're now sitting at just over $500 million locked in this protocol. So while the majority of the market over the last few weeks has actually taken a step back and we've seen a retracement in a lot of TVL's prices, Ondo Finance has continued to climb, which is a really strong sign. And then on the other side, of course, we have the risks of Ondo Finance and the Ondo token. And the first and one of the definitely the most riskiest aspects of this project is the future token unlocks that are scheduled in the next couple of years. Due to all of the venture capital money sitting behind this project, there are significant token unlocks on the horizon. And unfortunately, that means that the supply into the market is not going to be linear. So we can see on the chart here that there are huge steps ahead for Ondo token unlocks. The first of which is in January of 2025, whereby supply is going to almost, over double in supply. And then we've got significant unlocks all the way through until, what year are we in? 2029. So that means that there are, because of these big cliff unlocks ahead, that if there's not enough demand to meet those unlocks when they happen, then prices will be impacted negatively. Secondly, the demand for the Ondo token is at the moment driven purely by governance. That is the only real utility of the Ondo token, and governance doesn't tend to be one of the biggest drivers for demand. Hype is obviously another one for Ondo Finance because it is everywhere at the moment. A lot of influencers are talking about it, so hype can push price a long way. But in terms of actual utility, it is just governance. So while I think more people at the moment are buying Ondo due to the relationship that it has with real-world assets, rather than actually using it, I don't think the demand is being driven by people that are actually using Ondo and the Ondo token. And that means that if hype subsides, then demand could significantly drop. And then finally, we need to loop back to the Ondo price chart. We can see that since the start of this year, we have seen nothing but Ondo climb higher. And as I mentioned earlier, even with the market pulling back over recent weeks, we've seen a slight pullback in Ondo, but barely anything in comparison to some altcoins which have been retraced or been pulled back by 30, 40, 50% in some cases. So while the rally could definitely continue, the risk to reward profile entering Ondo right now is far worse than it was, say, at the start of this year. So buying now would most likely be buying into hype. And that's everything that I have to share on Ondo Finance. What was a fledgling altcoin project, even just at the start of this year in January of 2024, has now developed into a huge real-world asset token. But with a fully diluted market cap of over 12 billion, does Ondo still have enough room to the upside to justify an investment? And as always, I give you my own personal take on this to my 80/20 crypto newsletter subscribers. So if you are interested in finding out what I think about altcoins like this, that is the place to head to. The link to the newsletter will be down in the description. Bottom line, I think Ondo Finance is doing a great job in terms of bringing traditional finance and blockchain tech together. But FOMOing into Ondo right now, does that still offer good investment potential? Especially as we have token unlocks approaching just after the end of this year. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.